What is going on, Bucs fans and CFP fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with yet another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today we're going over our second NFL draft profile for the Buccaneers. As you can see, is on BucsNation.com, written by yours truly, Mr. Evan Wanish. And this is the draft target we are looking at today. Ole Miss linebacker Chris Paul Jr. Now, if you want to read this full thing, you can head on over to BucsNation.com. Also include all my other works as well as the other talented writers that we have. We've been doing these draft profiles all month, so we have been covering a lot of different players. Chris Paul Jr., one thing to note, he is not related to Chris Paul, the basketball player. He's not related to CP3. So Chris Paul Jr., nicknamed Pooh, does not have any relation to Chris Paul, the basketball player. He began his college career at Arkansas and then transferred to Ole Miss and had a pretty good 2024 season, was named All SEC second team, selected by the USA Today to their All-American first team. So pretty good 1 year he had at Ole Miss there. Had 88 tackles and 3.5 sacks. So, I mean, pretty explosive player there. Scouting combine, pro day stats. What Paul can do for the Buccaneers in 2025. And, I want to talk about this a little bit. Basically, Lavonte David isn't going to play forever, right? As you can see on your screen there, Lavonte David. And he's been an ageless wonder for the Buccaneers, right? And he's still been good, but he's not going to play forever. And I think it's more so a year-to-year thing. And if you want me completely honest, there's a decent chance this season coming up here might be Lavonte David's final one in the NFL. So the Buccaneers have to start preparing for life after Lavonte David, and they don't really have a guy like that. Now, they have Servassier Dennis, who they like, but he's been injury prone. They signed Anthony Walker in free agency, but those two guys aren't going to be able to replace Lavonte David at all, right? And I'm not saying Chris Paul Jr. would be, or any player that they would pick at linebacker in this draft would replace Lavonte David. That's big shoes to fill. I'm not saying that, but I do think it'd be pretty smart to have some sort of succession plan in place there. And unfortunately, Devin White didn't really work out. I think you could take another swing here with Chris Paul Jr. and hopefully, he could develop what he could do in 2025, though. I mean, just like I sort of said here, playing next to Lavonte David, it helps, right? To be able to learn and watch from a player like him, I think it could only help. And a pro's pro is Lavonte David, right? He's been there, done that, and one of the best linebackers, arguably one of the best Buccaneers of all time. So I really don't think there's much of a downside to having Chris Paul Jr., even if he doesn't play. Maybe he's not the starter, right, week one. Maybe it's Servassier Dennis. Maybe it's Anthony Walker that's next to Lavonte David. I still think Chris Paul Jr. just being in that linebacker room with Lavonte David and just being like a sponge, absorbing all this knowledge from David, I think it could really help. So we'll see what happens there if he were to come to Tampa Bay. But the 3-year outlook, I think it's pretty simple, right? I think you're hoping for Paul Jr. to be the team's like top linebacker eventually, right? So it's so crucial for defending the middle of the field against both the run and the pass. Tampa Bay has been extremely fortunate to have Lavonte David. He won't be here forever. That's what I said, right? In 3 years' time, it's highly unlikely he's still playing football. Like I said, I still think it's probably a 1-year thing, and Bucs will need a long-term plan, and I think Paul Jr. could be that. So, again, I think he could help this year in 2025, but I also think this could be more so for the future, and I think it makes a lot of sense. The stock report. Paul Jr. is likely to be a day 2 pick. I would assume that. I think it's possible he could slip into day 3. Highly unlikely. If he were to slip into day 3, I'd be pounding the table for the Buccaneers to move up and get him, because I think he'd be one of the first picks off the board on day 3, but I would be pretty surprised if that were the case. So if the Bucs want him, they probably have to use their 3rd-round pick on him, which is 84th overall. So, and honestly, they may even have to move up a little bit to get him if they really like him, right? We don't know for sure if they really like him or not, but that's just where I think his stock is right now. I think it's around that 3rd round. So I think if the Bucs wanted him, they would have to do that. So there have been many hits on day 2 when it comes to linebackers. Tampa Bay's own Lavonte David, but also Bobby Wagner and Fred Warner. Those are just some that, make sense, like names, right, that pop out at you when thinking about day 2 linebackers. So, but there are still, some misses as well. So we'll have to wait and see what category Paul Jr. fits into. But It is now time for you to make the decision. Would you want Chris Paul Jr. in red and pewter next season? Let us know in the poll. Let's view the results of this poll. So the Buccaneers should target Chris Paul Jr. in the NFL draft early. There's a second round. It'll be, I Bleav, 53rd overall, I think, something like that. As projected, third round. See if he falls to the fourth round or never. He shouldn't be on their board. Let's look at the results here. And it is looking highly likely. A lot of people are wanting them to pick him in the third round. There's a few, actually. There's more than I thought that wanted to see him fall to the fourth round. Maybe the Bucs pick him up there. Not many looking for the second, and there's not many that wouldn't draft him at all. So I think you're looking at that third round as being the potential sweet spot there for Chris Paul Jr. as a fit for the Buccaneers. So it makes a lot of sense there. You can go over to this poll right now on BucsNation.com. Go ahead and vote on this and let me know what you guys think. You guys, like I said, can read the full article over here at BucsNation.com. You read all my other work as well on BucsNation.com. So let me know what you guys think about that. But what do you guys think about Chris Paul Jr.? Do you think he's a fit for the Buccaneers? Do you think it makes sense? I think it makes sense. I think he's a pretty good fit. I like the player. I think it's a guy who on day two, you can take a chance on. He doesn't have to come in and save the day for you, right, in year one. Because, like I said, he's still Lavonte David. The team likes Shavonte Dennis. You might be able to get by with those guys for a year. And Paul Jr. would still be able to contribute a little bit, but I don't think he has to come in and immediately play 100% of the snaps for you, right? I think you can ease him into it, and I think it could end up working out pretty good. But let me know what you guys think about Chris Paul Jr. and his fit with the Buccaneers in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go Bucs.